Hey everyone, it's your favorite dance teacher, Miss Christina. I had something that I was thinking about on my car ride home from work, so I wanted to just make a quick video about it before I went to bed. Ergo the wet hair and my grandma sweater and being in bed. um, but I was thinking about it on my drive home from work today, and I was thinking about what I used to do to be prepared for class, right? So I want to talk about what I used to do to be prepared for class and what I think that everybody should do to be prepared for dance class. So, I mean, there's so much more that goes into being prepared for a dance class than just your having your dance shoes. Like, there's so much more. Um, the first thing I think about when I go to a class is what am I wearing, right? Because I want to wear something that's going to make me feel comfortable, that I feel like I can move in, that I can see my lines in the mirror in. So that's the first thing I think about before I even sign up for a class, right? Is I make sure that I have a leotard. I make sure that I have my tights. If I want to, depending on the type of class, I make sure I have a pair of leggings that fit me well. I make sure that my shorts aren't riding up, or that my shorts aren't falling down, or that my hair isn't pinned up, or is pinned up properly. I don't want to go into class and make sure that, have to fix my hair. That's the last thing that I want to do. So the first thing I'm thinking about is what I'm going to wear, right? So for me, when you go into a ballet class, you wear pink tights, you wear your ballet shoes, point shoes. You always wear a leotard. That's ballet class, you wear a leotard. Leotard and tights. I don't care what color tights. Personally, this is my personal preference. I like pink tights. That might not work for you. That's fine. Tights are tights. Wear some tights, right? You always have to have a leotard on in ballet. It's ballet. Put a leotard on. I personally like ballet skirts. I love them. I think it adds to, for me, it makes me feel pretty. And like when I'm doing ballet, I want to feel pretty. Why not? I think it adds to the aesthetic of it because they're so light and airy. It makes you feel light and airy. That's just my opinion. I like them. Whatever. Some people like to wear shorts. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me. But wear something that I can see your lines, right? That the teacher can see your lines, that you can see your lines. If I'm going into a class and I can't see where my elbows are, what's the point of going into class? How am I going to better myself if I can't see my own body? That's not helpful. Sometimes, sometimes you can wear shirts. Personally, I don't like wearing shirts in ballet because then it cuts off my line. It makes me feel short. So if you feel like wearing a shirt, just wear a form-fitting shirt so you can see what you're wearing. Don't wear something with bright colors because that's not helpful. It draws the attention to something that it shouldn't be drawing the attention to, if that makes sense. Now if we're talking jazz class, I don't even wear jazz shoes. That's personal preference. You can, you can't. It is what it is. Most studios require you to wear jazz shoes. If you're going to a jazz class, do you have to wear a leotard, in my opinion? No, probably not. I grew up in a studio where sports bras or half tops and booty shorts were a thing. Now I'm in studios where you can't do that. It's not allowed. So for me, jazz is where you can go ham. You can wear whatever feels comfortable on you. Personally, I'm an adult now. I can't wear half tops and booty shorts, right? My students, on the other hand, go ahead. I don't care. However, it has to follow studio protocol. So if you are in a studio that doesn't allow that, wear a shirt. You also have to dress to your teacher, right? So if a teacher does a lot of floor work, don't wear bare legs because ow, right? That makes sense. Put some tights on. Wear leggings. Modern dance, contemporary that's even more out there. You can wear literally whatever you want. But it has to be in the realm of form fitting of what I can see and what has to be. You can't wear a flowy shirt because then you're going to get caught all up in it if you're rolling on the floor, right? You have to dress to what your teacher is doing. In my contemporary class, we roll around a lot. We're on our shoulders, we're spinning, like on our backs. In my contemporary class, you have to wear a shirt or you're gonna wind up all cut up. So I recommend long sleeve shirts. You can take them off, put them on, it gets hot, whatever, it's all well and fine. But when I go to a modern or contemporary class, I wear something with sleeves. whether that be over a leotard, whether it be a t-shirt and tights, or a black form-fitting t-shirt and black leggings. You know, it's all personal preference, but you have to wear something that makes you ready for class. When I'm thinking about getting ready for class, I'm also thinking about my hair. That's a big thing. When you go into a ballet class, your hair should be in a bun or a French twist, or it needs to be up, secured away from your face. A messy bun is okay for class, but you really shouldn't have a messy bun. It should really be a nice, tight, pinned up bun, and that's something that I've been lacking on. So I think I'm going to start doing that as a teacher. You know, you have to be what you want your students to be. So I'm going to start wearing my hair in a nice bun. That I think will be a tutorial that I'll do next week, explaining how I do my buns and explaining how there's different types of buns and why different types of buns go with different type of people. Just, it's a long story, but that will be next week's video. So ballet class, hair in a bun. Jazz, it doesn't matter. Your hair can be whatever you want for jazz. It's just, you need to be able to turn with it, you know. Prefer pinned up. I prefer pinned up because I don't want hair in my face. How are you going to turn with hair in your face? Contemporary, it's just easier to have your hair pinned up because then you can see things. But that's more free spirited. So you can kind of wear whatever you want for those two classes, in my opinion. That also has to go with your studio rules. Every studio has different rules. So look at your studio packet, ladies. The next thing I'm thinking about when I'm going into a class is, I'm thinking about, what class am I going into? Oh, am I going into ballet? Okay, I'm going to have to work what do I want to achieve in this class, right? So if I'm going into a ballet class, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I want to achieve rotation in my feet, in my hip socket. Maybe I want to achieve pulling my shoulders back and lifting my chin. Maybe I want to achieve really resisting the floor with every tendu, with every dégagé, with every battement. Maybe I'm thinking about my posture, my booty and my belly, just tucking them both in, making sure that I'm really secure in my abdominals to protect my lower back. What's another thing I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about combos that we worked on the week before. So maybe if this is a weekly setting, I'm going to the same class every week. I'm thinking about combos from the week before, right? I don't want to be that student that a teacher calls out on me and says, hey, I need you to demonstrate this, and you can't do it. Right? That's embarrassing for me. I would never walk into a class not knowing a combo, especially because if she called you out and you didn't know it, like, that's just so embarrassing in my eyes, and I wouldn't want to do that, right? There's also a certain expectation held by the teachers. Like, you come in teaching each week, how are you supposed to improve if you don't know the combos? You can't improve if you don't know the combos. So that's one thing that I'm thinking about. I'm a big fan of writing down my combos. If you ever see me as a teacher, I walk around with a giant binder, literally like a 2-inch like school book binder that I have filled with just combos, because I can't remember things. So after I leave my class, or after a class leaves, I take 10-15 minutes sitting in the studio writing down all my combos, because that's what I know I need to do in order to remember them for next week. If that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. If that's not what you need to do, then maybe you need to go over them with a friend 10 minutes before class. Show up early. Come early to class. Spend 10 minutes sitting there thinking about it. You know? Another thing I'm thinking about getting prepared for class is finding my mental space, right? So I as many of my students know, and as many of my followers know, I work a lot of jobs. And I have to most people, one would say I have a very stressful work schedule, which is an understatement to some people as well. But I use my time wisely, right? So I spend my car rides to work thinking about what I'm going to do at work, thinking about what I want my students to achieve and how I'm going to get my students to achieve that goal. And I expect my students to be walking into my class thinking the same thing. Okay, so it takes you 10 minutes to get to class. All right, what are you thinking about on that 10 minutes? What are you thinking about? Maybe you could be thinking about, today I want to work on this. Or, you know, today I want to do this. Or maybe you had an awful day. Maybe you had a complete awful day. Like, today I had a really bad day, but it is what it is, and you move on. And as soon as you step into the studio, you walk over the threshold into the studio, that's when you have to take your entire life and leave it at the door, because you're there to work, you're there to improve yourself, and you're there for you. There's nobody else that you're there for. You're there for you, right? You're spending your money, your parents' money, your time, your effort, you're putting into this, and why would you let something else affect your progress? It's not worth it. Okay, maybe you didn't do so well on a test. You coming into class upset about it isn't going to do anything for you. Okay, my biggest pet peeve as a teacher is when my students walk in and tell me they're tired. It is. It drives me nuts, because it's like, you're not the only one. And you saying that changes the mood of the classroom, right? So now I need to work harder to get our class back to the state that it was before you told me that you're retired, before you told the class that you were tired, and you put that energy into the room, right? So one thing that you're doing to get prepared for class is taking your time, figuring out what you want to achieve, getting into class, leaving that energy, leaving that at the door. You can pick it up as soon as you leave, but you need to leave that energy at the door. I leave all of that. I turn my phone off. Well, now I don't, because I'm a teacher. I have to use it for music. But when I was in class, I would turn my phone off. I would, turn it on silent. I would leave it outside. I would come into the classroom without any of that nuisance, any of that, just things thinking in your head. Like, everybody has their own life, and everybody has things going on. But in the studio, you need to leave it there. You need to leave it at the door. You need to come in. You need to be ready to work. And that's all in your head. Yeah, it's all in your attitude. A positive attitude is going to have a positive outcome, where a negative attitude is going to have a negative outcome. And that is it's so true. Like, it's so true in life, in dance, in everything. And so I want to encourage my students and teachers, because I've had teachers that walk in that are miserable, and you can feel it. Like, I've danced my whole life. I've had teachers that, were wonderful, wonderful teachers, came in, you had no idea what was going on in their life. They were the best teachers I've ever had. And I've had, one or two teachers that came in and you knew their life, and you knew what they were struggling about, and you knew that they were having a bad day by the way that they acted, and that changed my goals in class, and that changed the way I acted in class. And I wasn't as productive with those teachers because I didn't feel that positive energy. So I feel bringing positive energy into the classroom is one of the most important things of being a dance teacher. It really is. And dance could be life-saving, and such a release, and such a good thing for people's mental stabilities. That's why they made dance therapy. So don't take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you, and really take every dance class as a gift, because it is a gift. Some people aren't as privileged to have dance classes as as myself and as some of my students, and I want to encourage my students to not take them for granted. So that's what I think being prepared should be. Yeah, and if there's anything you'd like to add to that, or anything you'd like to comment on, I would really love to hear your comments, and I would really love to, I'd love to hear you share your opinions, and, please give me feedback on this video. I really love it, especially my students. So next week we're going to, we're going to do a couple of hair tutorials, and depending on if I clean my room or not, which is a large possibility that I will not clean my room, one of my students requested that I do a house tour. All right, because first of all, I didn't even know that was a thing. I think I'm dating myself. What is a house, like, they had to explain to me what a house tour was. I was like, am I getting old, or are you guys too young? What is happening? Are you guys pulling a trick on me? So next week, if I clean my room, I promised my students that I would do a house tour. So you guys will get to see a tour of my house. which will be pretty funny. But yeah. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you guys tune in for next week, and this should be great, and I hope this is helpful. I'm gonna go to bed. So good night everyone. Have a nice night. See you next time.